bigger is usually better, am I right? So, you know, on my previous little Laguna 1216, I turned a larger knob because it had a pretty wimpy knob as shown in the picture here. So I thought, well, what the heck, this knob's a pretty reasonable size, but bigger may be better. So let's go turn a nice knob out of a piece of exotic that I had sitting on a shelf. So we're off to a quick start with this piece of exotic wood that I play around, did some thread chasing on. I could have used a piece of walnut, but hey, this is sitting on the shelf. It's going to be in my state sale if I don't do something with it, so why not? So I figured the best size knob is about 1 3/4. So I'm going to have room to round it off on this end. So I'm going to give myself a skosh more room. Bring this out to 1 3/4, right about there. And that gives me a pretty good feel for where I need to part off. Let me mark that. And then that's where we're going to part off. I'm going to use a thin parting tool. Allow a little extra width. Okay. Next, I'm going to go ahead and drill a hole here for a fixture that I've got. I had it over in my stuff. I don't know what size it is. I think it goes on, I don't know what it was used for, but I had it. But what I tested was when I unthreaded this, it threaded on. So that is the right adapter. I could just tap this wood, but hey, I've already got this adapter. This one I simply tapped. This has got a different thread size, as did my Jet 1214 when I turned one of these for it. So let's go ahead and just put a little divot in there. We'll put a tiny little, you know, just to make it easier for the screw to go in. So I'm going to drill a hole and probably wind up epoxying this in. So I've got to find the right size, and this template makes it easy. And it looks like it's right at, doesn't thread on there, it looks like right at 1.5 inches is just going to be just right. So let me get a half inch. Let me get a half-inch drill bit and a drill chuck and be right back. So I measured this threaded insert, and it's going to be, I need to drill a hole 17 millimeters deep. Metric in this case is certainly easier than imperial. So we're going to turn the lathe on, go to a reasonably slow speed, start right there, and I'm at 23. I think I need to get to 40. And I think I'm there. Okay. What's that old saying? Measure twice, cut once. So let's see. Let's just kind of see how that's going to fit. I think I'll be able to just tap this in, to tell you the truth, with these teeth. I don't know. Put this right about there. Okay. That will give us a sphere. I think I'm going to go ahead and give myself a parting cut, make it a little easier to spot where I'm going with that. This is hard wood. And I'm going to eyeball what the center of this is. That'll give me a pretty good feel for it. Now it's just turning a cylinder, so we're going to just do that by knocking off some corners. There's more scientific ways of doing it, but hey, this will get the job done. But actually, I need to get this down to 1 3/4 inches, so let's go back to the 1 3/4. do a spot check on that. So let's go ahead and take this down some. I'll just use the spindle gouge since that's the tool I got out handy. Doesn't have to be perfect, but I want to get it pretty close. Okay. Now we're going to go back to the pencil and just kind of spot it so we can kind of get even on both sides. Now let's turn a sphere. We don't need no stinking sphere tube here. Alright, now a thought occurred to me since we're really pimping this thing is maybe I put a little textured band here in the middle, so let's sand it first. Go through multiple grits with a little sanding abrasive, or rather a little sanding lubricant so this doesn't overheat. Okay, using my Sorby, micro Sorby, we're going to set the speed down a little bit to no more than 400 or so. Okay, got that set. We're just going to bring it in. I'm going to have I've marked the band with a pencil, and we're just going to do just a little bit of spiraling between those bands. Okay, I like that. That looks good. Alright, now we're going to use a point tool. Just put a little groove on each side. So we're going to turn the speed back up a little bit. And we'll get the tool rest in a little bit closer. Too far off. Okay. Alright, next, in order to pimp it up even more, we're just going to put a little burn ring on each side in that groove we just made. So in that case, we're going to crank this speed up a little bit, and we're just going to put this in there until it starts smoking. There we go. Oh, that's looking good. I think I'm going to go ahead and do a little polishing on this end with some sanding abrasive paste. Just polish it up. I'm not even sure I'll put any finish on this thing. I think I may not need any. Now, all we got to do is finish. This is the tricky part. Turning this thing here so it actually does look like a sphere. So to do that, I'm going to part off some more material around back to make it a little easier to get that gouge back. Oh, got the speed turned up a little too fast for that. Get it down a little bit closer to 1200. Okay, now I got the part down a little bit, I can go ahead and start. Get the speed back up a little bit, and just try to make this thing look like a sphere. Across that we get to. I'm having a hard time getting down in there with this, so I'm going to switch to a detail gouge, which makes it a little easier, or maybe even a skew. Okay, I think I'm almost there. I think I want to get in there and do a little bit of sanding. I won't worry about it anymore. Okay. So now I want to part it off. I think I'm going to go ahead and use a flush cut saw to do that final parting. This is easier than chasing this around the floor of my shop when it comes off. Okay. That's a good looking knob. I like that. It's a 1/2 inch hole. This looks like a 1/2 inch insert. So we'll just pound this thing in there and see what happens. Oh yeah, that looks good. That looks good. We still got this damage to remove, and I've got an idea. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put on this chuck with these pin jaws. And they will just clamp down on this 1/2 inch bar going through the headstock like that. There we go. That's a beautiful thing. Alright, now we're just going to come across that with a spindle gouge, clean up that rough edge, then we'll finish sanding. Anchor the tool, ride the bevel, lift till it cuts, swing it around. Whoa! Lost the bevel contact as I swung it around. Okay, that's close enough. Sanding will refine those minor differences, I'm sure. And I'll go through all the grits. Here's the final product. If you make one of these, leave a note in the comments below. And you remember, y'all stay safe and come on back here.